Welcome to Mishnah study Masechet Hallah Perek Aleph Mishnah He. In this Mishnah, we're going to speak about dough. That when the person was making the dough, he intended to use it for wafers, right? This is what the sufkenin that we mentioned in last Mishnah. If you remember, I didn't stress it, but sufkenin, according to Rambam, is the targum of rekikim, right? When it comes to part of the kurban todah that we need to bring, part of those types of bread that I mentioned, one of them is a rakik, which is like a wafer-like, right? It's a thin type of matzah. Others don't explain it like that. Others explain it that it has to do with a very bedilaraka, a very light moisture, and they talk about more sufkenin in the type of a sponge cake. Right? But according to Rambam, it's more like a thin type of wafer. So now the point over here, though, is these wafers, how they're making it is they wouldn't bake it in an oven. They would let it almost like dehydrate in the sun. Right? That's the way they would bake some of these. And being such, right, that type of baking is not something that would obligate hallah. So if you were going ahead and make these sufkenin, right, if you intended to make sufkenin and you ended up making sufkenin, then you're obviously going to be patur from hallah, right? We're going to discuss what if at some point you really intended to make it as real bread. So isa shetihilata sufkenin, right? You had dough that it was intended to make wafers. V'sofa sufkenin, you ended up making wafers. Pitura min halal, that's pitura from halal. But tahilata isa v'sofa sufkenin, or tahilata sufkenin v'sofa isa, hayevet b'halal. Right? Let's say in the beginning you had it as regular dough, right? And then you said, let me turn it into wafers, or you intended to make it wafers in the beginning and ended up turning into isa at the end, regular dough to make as hallah. Both those cases are going to be obligated in hallah. V'chen hakenuv ka'ot hayavot, also these kenuv ka'ot, which is more like a breadcrumb. What they would do is they take these flour and they would roast it and knead it with dough, or knead it with oil. And after they kneaded it and they cooked it, they would go ahead and break it up with their fingers into a crumb. And this item is hayav in hallah, right? Because I guess it's because of its similarity to bread, right? And the way it was baked, right? That's also part of it, right? Because it's baked in normal fashion, it's going to be obligated in bread. And that's going to stress also in next Mishnah as well.